So, I hope you can see my screen. So let's talk about like the vegan lifestyle from an ethical perspective. So, what is the vegan lifestyle basically? In my opinion, the vegan lifestyle is just basically kindness in action. It is the same thing. Instead of following the vegan lifestyle, one can say that one is following the kindness lifestyle or the compassion lifestyle. That is basically it. There's nothing mysterious about it. And yeah, it is wishing kindness to basically all of mankind. And not only mankind, but all the living beings, all the animals too. So, so that is basically the vegan lifestyle. So we try to minimize all the suffering for all living beings, humans and animals included. And it's a conscious decision from our part to contribute to happiness of all beings. And it is so, I mean, it's for me, it's so logical and also so easy. Like once we are really understanding this aspect of the vegan lifestyle, then there's no going back. It's as simple as that, because I know none of us really want to hurt any being, but also most of us are not aware of what is going on, like on our plates, how so much sadness is included in that piece of meat or egg or milk that we consume, and we just do it really without thinking a lot about it or at all. So it would be much nicer to just consume anything that has like there's one doctor said, I think he said, yeah, don't eat anything that has eyes and that has a mother. So yeah, because all beings wants to be happy. All beings want to be free. No one wants to be enclosed in the cages. And even this, what we call humane meat or eggs, is not so humane. Maybe it is a bit better for the animals, but it is still a lot of suffering because they will end up like they will be killed like all the others, so the end will be the same. And beside, there are a lot of other kind of pains. For the chickens, for example, they suffer terribly because they are basically engineered to lay way more eggs than they are supposed to naturally. And that is not natural, that is man-made, one could say. And they suffer a lot from fractures and mobility issues and whatnot. So yes, so the vegan lifestyle is an amazing way of getting out of this misery that we have put ourselves in, also ourselves, like into this cycle of violence and abuse of other living beings, other pure living beings, innocent living beings that have, that we believe they are food, but it is only because they cannot speak. So they cannot speak like our language, so we do not understand them. We don't know their how amazing they are, how smart, wise they are. And yeah, basically they cannot talk, so they cannot protect themselves. They cannot say stop. I mean, they do say stop in their own word. They cry, but we don't listen. But it's not like humans' words, so we are like deaf to them. So yeah, for me, that is the main reason for being vegan. There are other reasons, of course, but this is the main one, and for me, it is more than sufficient because we don't need to eat meat, fish. Yes, fish also suffer a lot. Fish is not food. Fish is not a plant. And everything else, chickens also, and the dairy is absolutely terrible what's happening to the cows and other milk-giving animals or persons. One doesn't need to say animals. Basically, all animals are also persons. We are an animal ourselves, and we are called persons. So why shouldn't they be called person? So yeah. So that is why kindness is the highest, one could say, aspiration, virtues. I mean, kindness and compassion, they are a bit different, but they are very much related. So, yes, so as I said, animals are not products. We made them into products by some unbelievably, I don't know, historical error. We took them. We thought we can just eat them, but I mean, what for? They are not products. Especially nowadays, there is absolutely no reason to have meat. There are so many alternatives that it is just unnecessary. And yeah, and animals, of course, they feel a lot of pain. It's like us. I mean, they are not that different than humans. I mean, if you poke them, they will hurt. They bleed. They love their childrens. They take care of them, maybe even better than us. And still, in our mind, we believe they are products. That it's like also the fish in the sea. It's like we believe the sea is like our refrigerator. But no, fishes are also sentient beings that have pains, that also have families, and we have no rights to hurt them. It's not because they cannot speak that we have the rights to do anything that we wish. That is so logical, but sometimes we need to be awakened, to open our eyes, because we are all compassionate beings inside of us. But we have forgotten that sometimes we need somebody or someone, some event to remind us of that. That is all. It's just a reminder of who we really are. So to align our actions with our ethics. Because as I said, no one of us wants to hurt any being, be it humans or animals. If we had to kill an animal ourselves, most of us couldn't do it. Okay, maybe some can, but most cannot and will not. But because when we go to the restaurant, for example, we see a plate of like well-made, like beautifully plated, maybe meat or whatever, eggs, fish, but we don't realize what is behind it. It's all packaged. But yeah, animals are not products. And then, yeah, the reality behind animal agriculture is quite terrible. They're like most animals are confined terribly together in very small cages. And yeah, most of the animals are that we so-called consume are from those kind of places. And it's not like ideal farms like we have. Maybe it's a romantic view that we have, like cows grazing in the sun and happy and all. No, the reality is much worse. And even those very few farms that do have like cows outside, the cows still will end up as meat. And what about all the milk is also a big issue. And yeah, everything is controlled for them. They cannot do anything. It's like their life is decided for them, and they cannot just do anything about it. Would we love? I mean, would we enjoy that for ourselves, like being in a cage, not being able to do anything, no future, no nothing? I mean, no. All of us would say, of course, that is terrible. So why do we do it to the animals? It's complete contradiction. And then, of course, their life is cut short. So much shorter than they should live normally in nature. So like chickens who could live 8 years, well, they are killed after 5 weeks. Or 6 weeks. 6 weeks, sorry. Well, that's not much difference, does it? And yeah, and they are like again genetically engineered to get very big, and they are killed for what? For like 1 or 2 minutes of so-called pleasure in quotation mark. It's ridiculous. And this pleasure basically comes, so-called gustative pleasure doesn't come from the chicken itself. It comes from the spices that we add to the meat and all the food in any case, like oil, salt, and sugar basically. And also cows, they can live like 20 years in the wild, but they are slaughtered after 18 months. And then there's the cows that provide milk. Then they may be killed after 4 or 5 years, after maybe 4 or 5 pregnancies. Yeah, and it is, and again, we don't think about it. So maybe it is time that we open our eyes and just look at reality as is. And then we have the milk and eggs. So that is big issue also. Because there are many vegetarians around the world, and I mean, vegetarians is already a good thing. I'm not saying the contrary, It's a step in the right direction. Some vegetarians eat eggs, some don't eat eggs, some eat fish, some don't eat fish. So vegetarianism is not very well defined. And there's what is called lacto-vegetarian, which they don't eat meat, fish, or eggs, which is already quite a good step. I would say maybe 50% there. It's not 80, it's not 90%, just 50, which is good because most of us are not even there. We are quite far away from that, but still a way to go. And why? Because, well, the egg industry also is, as we said earlier, the chickens are engineered to lay way more eggs than they normally do in nature, and like 10 times more than they do in the wild, and that is completely exhausting their bodies and causing all kinds of fractures, and then they cannot move anymore, and that is really quite sad. Beside that, the because eggs, so when eggs eggs can give either males or female chicks, and since the male chicks are not useful to the industry, they are killed, and in a horrible way even. So they are like crushed alive or gassed. And yes, I don't know how humans could have created such instruments. It's like instruments from hell. But that's the reality, and that's what we consume. So when we consume eggs, we support those industries that do that. And that's why the egg industry, we should not consume eggs. Even those that, like, there are some who buy chickens for their garden, and then for their eggs, basically. And one can think that it's not that a big a deal, because the eggs, the chickens are there free. Most probably they are better than in the chicken farms, that's for sure. But still, where do they get? Where do the chickens come from? They come from like a farm, and that farm is doing those practices. And also the chickens probably be like the one that were engineered to lay more eggs than usual. So yes, so it is so easy to avoid egg. We can have replacement very easily. There's like a spice, I forgot the name. It's kala. Forgot the name. Kala namak, something like that. It's an Indian, I think, spice that tastes like egg, and that can replace egg if one really wants that taste. So, and the dairy industry is also quite terrible, possibly even worse than the meat industry. The meat, because many don't realize that cows needs to be pregnant in order to produce milk. Just like all mammals, like humans. So, first they are artificially inseminated, which is atrocious. And then once their babies are born, then the babies are taken away from their mother within hours, just so that the milk will be provided for the humans. And the mother cows, they cry for a long, long time, for weeks, for the babies. And before they know it, they are again inseminated for the next time. And then, if that's not enough, at the end, when they cannot um, um, give babies anymore, then they are sent to the slaughterhouse. So it's like a full circle. And yeah, cows, the only way for cows to give milk is to be pregnant. There is no other way. So something is terribly wrong there. So that's why the dairy industry, it's not only milk, but of course everything derived from milk, like cheese, butter, should be avoided at all cost. And nowadays it's so easy to replace it with a plant-based milk. And like of course, for human babies, they should, I mean, they not should, but they need to have like um, ideally the human's milk. Every species has their own formula that comes from nature, from millions of years of evolution. And for humans, human milk is the ideal milk, not cow's milk. And for cows, the ideal milk is from cows' mothers. And same thing for all the species, all the mammals. So yeah, so that's one more aspect. And yeah, so if it is not necessary, why cause harm? So easy to avoid it, so easy nowadays. Even in the past, but nowadays even more, because there are so many replacements like meat replacement, tofu, seitan, tempeh. They are amazing. So nutritious, so much proteins. Proteins, basically, all plants have proteins. So often we hear, where do you get your proteins? Well, from plants. And there's no protein deficiency, mostly, at least in the West, just doesn't exist. But still, people often say, where do you get your protein? But that is just the meat industry somehow convinced people that they need proteins from meat. They kind of say that only meat has proteins, but that is not correct. Same for the dairy, for calcium. We don't need dairy for calcium. There are so many plants that have calcium that is much better also in the composition than dairy milk for humans. So we just don't need it. And if we don't need it, then why cause harm? It's like free causing harm for nothing, basically, out of habit, one could say. So yeah, so let's maybe try to think about that. So veganism is an act of non-violence for sure. So we eat. I mean, depends. Some people eat 1 time a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. I think most of us eat 3 times a day, or 2 or 3 times, and then each time we eat it's a choice we make. Do we want to have some violence in our place or non-violence? And yeah, violence begins with our plates. Yeah, violence is not just like slapping someone. That's violence, of course. But when we eat also meat, if you really think about what happened to where it comes from, then we can realize that actually it's even much more violent than the slap. it's like complete torture and abuse. So 3 times a day we have a choice of non-violent plate or a violent plate. And yeah, it's a statement of peace, that we want peace on our place and peace in our mind and peace in our life. Because I believe that whatever we eat also affects us. So if we eat violence, abuse, we will suffer ourselves, be it mentally or physically. So if we want to have real peace in our heart, in our body, in our mind, we need to take away that violence from our plates, basically. And it is extremely easy to do, so why not? Yes, animals want to live, nothing more, nothing less. Exactly like us, basically, they want safety, freedom, and to experience life by themselves. Doesn't matter if pig, cow, chicken, they're all the same. It's like they're like humans, they're people. They again they also have fun. They have games between themselves. They play between themselves. If one looks at them, um, if one lets them live, so then one will see that they are so smart. I mean, pigs apparently they are as smart as 3 or 4 years old humans, which is quite incredible. Maybe possibly even smarter than dogs. But for some reason, dogs and cats receive a special treatment. We adore them. I mean, for good reason. But for some reason, pigs, because they look a bit different, then we believe that pigs are food and dogs are pet. That is just very arbitrary line that we have drawn ourselves, and it is there's no truth in it. Pigs could be like a companion, like a pet, if we really maybe in some society pigs could be a pet, a well cared for pet, like dogs. And cows, yes, cows are amazing beings also. Of course, cows cannot be pets. Well, pigs also, they should not be pets, but yeah, they can live outside in nature for free. I mean, in freedom, and then enjoy life as they wish. And because we have destroyed their habitat, we have the responsibility to take care of them. So that's why there are some animal farms, sanctuaries. Those are amazing places where animals can enjoy freedom and protection, and just enjoy life there. Yeah. So yeah, compassion that also creates change. So it takes some time. So in the beginning, there are some like individual action that one takes. Each vegan meal that we consume is a statement that we make to the world about kind of what is right, what is wrong, what is kind, what is unkind, what is compassionate, what is not compassionate. And with time, things change, and then there's like a market response, because that really happens when veganism was introduced. I think about 8 years ago. There were probably not a lot of vegan options, at least not like meat replacement or things like that. But now it became like a very common thing to find vegan options in the supermarket, which is amazing. So there's like a cultural shift that's happening slowly, and then there will be sometimes, I hope, a systemic change where so much movement will be made in that direction that it will just become the norm, and eating non-vegan will be seen as abnormal. So the opposite of what is today. Today, veganism could be seen as extreme, um, which is crazy, but it's just like kind of politics. But somehow it's changing now. So again, so the vegan lifestyle starts to be more accepted, much more accepted, thanks to a lot of amazing people. For example, Veganuary is doing an amazing job, like opening the eyes of millions of people all around the world to the joy of following the vegan lifestyle very easily. So this is something that I would advise anyone who is watching this, if you are not yet vegan, then try Veganuary. Veganuary can be tried at any time of the year. Doesn't even need to be January necessarily. Just subscribe to it, and they will send you like materials to learn about the vegan lifestyle. So yes, so I think there was also, I mean, most of you know Leonardo da Vinci, the genius of Renaissance time, I think. Like the sculptor, painter, scientist, mathematician, whatnot. One of the greatest geniuses of all time. He was extremely passionate about compassion, about kindness to animals. For example, when he went to the market and he saw like birds in cages, he would buy them and then set them free in the forest. He was also vegetarian. Of course, at the time there was no vegan. I mean, the term vegan did not even exist then. Possibly was vegan. I think we don't really know. But yeah, he said that there will come a time when mankind will evolve enough to consider like the murder of an animal in the same way as the murder of a human. Well, we are not yet there, my dear Leonardo, but I hope we are approaching it rapidly. I think this is a time of change, rapid change in these times, because there are so much information that is spread so rapidly through the internet, through YouTube and other social medias and other stuff, technology. So people are more aware of things. So possibly we will see this ideal way of seeing that even killing an animal is as wrong as killing a human. Once we arrive to that, then this world would be heaven. We are not yet there, but I hope soon. And yes, and of course also the connection. So when we are vegan, we are also very much into want peace to all beings. So again, not only animals but also humans. It's just impossible to really hurt any being once one understands the ethics of it. And in my view, so how I see it is that I see everyone as the beloved, as the Lord. Everyone, I mean, by everyone, I mean all living beings, not only humans. I mean, humans and non-humans. So everyone has in their heart the beloved, God, the Lord, doesn't matter how one calls the Creator. Even if one doesn't believe in it, it doesn't matter. It's like nature. one with nature. And yeah, that means that everyone has like every living being is like a mantle, like a coat, cloth around the beloved. But with our limited eyes, limited vision, we do not see that. We see other people or animals as different than what they really are. So every being has like a so-called soul, and this soul is basically the same in all beings. So like cows, pigs, chickens, they have the same soul as humans, no bigger, no smaller. It's like the beloved Lord, the God, has taken a cloth of the animal. Maybe because just God wanted to have fun and try out different clothes. It's like we want to, we like to change clothes often, just to look different. And sometimes we are in a mood for yellow, sometimes blue, sometimes green, brown, or black. And same thing. So maybe God wanted to try out different clothes. So sometimes he tried the clothes of an insect, sometimes the clothes of a pig, a chicken, a cow. Sometimes he wanted to be a human, so he chose the clothes of a human. It's all God, it's all the Lord, it's all the beloved behind it. That's how I see it, and in that way, one can really. It's impossible then to really hurt any being. I mean, humans or not humans. Like in the humans realms, like we have like the so-called different races. But basically, that's just the exterior. So just a cloth. Inside of us, we are all the same. So one cannot differentiate like that between people. So that destroys many of the humans' shortcomings of not seeing the other person as they really are, like wonderful beings. Doesn't matter which race we are, which religion, whatever we believe. If we don't believe in God, that we do believe in God, it really doesn't matter. Just a belief. Who cares, basically? So yeah, so I don't know how I went from this to that, but just to say that all beings are one, basically. And nowadays it's for me it's like it's really urgent. It's a duty for all of us to open our eyes, to wake up to the reality, because maybe we have been dreaming a little bit. For example, for me, I was also, I mean, I was consuming basically anything until I was 18 years old. Nobody ever told me anything about meat, fish, eggs, dairy, nothing. It's very unfortunate, and but it is as it is. It's that's society, like the family. Most families are not vegans or vegetarians, and they themselves grow from their parents who are not vegetarians or vegans, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just when I was 18, my eyes were open, at least for the lacto vegetarian side, and then I switched to a vegan lifestyle a couple of years afterwards. And yeah, and the vegan lifestyle, that change was the best change, one of the best change in my life, best ever change. I think most vegans will agree or say that. at least when one is vegan for the ethical side. Um, but yes, I hope that this short presentation, there was I forgot some one more slide. So yeah, important stuff is that veganism is not about perfection. So yeah, no one becomes vegan to be pure or like morally superior. That's not the goal. It's just that we want to align our actions with our values, with our ethics. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. We will make mistakes. We make mistakes. Sometimes we eat stuff that contains animal products, but we are not aware of it. That's okay. We are humans, as the saying goes. We try to correct it next time. But yeah, so we try to be as compassionate as possible, as kind as possible. That's what veganism is about. And it's not about perfection. Nobody's perfect. There's no perfect vegan. That doesn't exist. Not in this world. It's not possible. We are not living in a vegan world. So we try our best. I mean, if we are vegan for ethical reason, we will be vegan as much as possible. But yeah, we don't know if when we eat in a restaurant, if there was like cross contaminations or they put ingredients that we're not aware of or they are not aware of, etc. But we just let it be. We do our best. And yes, so the world with less suffering, so that is possible. And the most important thing is that it starts with us. So every single person can have a lot of effect on the world. We shouldn't think that we are just alone and one person and we don't have any power. But when one becomes vegan, then one influences everybody around us, the family, friends, co-workers, and finally the world. If we make like, for example, we speak in a lecture, retreats, or like in YouTube, then we can affect a lot of people, and that is a good thing. We need that. So this world needs some peace and compassion and kindness to counteract some not so kind happenings. So the more kindness is shown in this world, until one moment we arrive at a certain level, then it will just become the norm everywhere, with no exception. All countries, all places. At least that's what I hope, and that's what I pray for. And yes, so there are communities of ethical, like compassionate beings, like vegans, and that's a good thing. And then it will some days become reality, where I hope that everybody will embrace that lifestyle, not because they have to, but because they want to. Because one understands that is just a compassionate way of living. That's all there is to it. Compassionate, kind way of living. So as Mahatma Gandhi, the great Mahatma Gandhi said, the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. That is so true. I'm not sure if, I mean, like, there are no vegan like countries, unfortunately, not yet. Some places have more compassion. So in India, for example, there are some cities which are purely think lacto-vegetarians, like Rishikesh. So that's wonderful. okay, I would have loved for them to be vegans, but we have what we have, and maybe one day. But that's. I mean, those are maybe some of the only places where like people are at least lacto-vegetarians. I don't know if there's any other place than in India. But I hope this will spread all over the world, that there will be cities all over the world that would be vegans. And then it will evolve until everybody is vegan, without wanting to sound too strange. But again, it's not a question of converting. It's not a religion. It is something that is related to kindness and compassion. So yes, so it's good to spread compassion and kindness, because not for when we is kind to the animals, we will also be kind to humans also. So I believe wars will possibly end if everybody was vegan. I do not know, of course, but I believe that, yeah, the vegan world will see the end of wars, because the suffering, one would see suffering of all beings as one's own suffering, and then one would not be able to hurt any other beings or any other nation. It would be just an impossibility. But of course, I mean, that's an ideal place. I know we don't live in an ideal world, but we can have dreams. It's always good to dream a little bit. So yes. That was the last slide. So that's the end of this presentation. I hope it was informative, and yeah, that it brought some light to the ethical aspect of the vegan lifestyle. Of course, there's a lot more to say, but that will be for another day. So every day I will present some other aspects of the vegan lifestyle. That was one aspect. So that was the aspect of animals, kindness, compassion towards animals, the ethical side. But there's also, of course, the health aspect, social justice aspect, sustainability is a very big one. Actually, it's a gigantic one. So we will discuss those in the next coming days. So okay, so let's go to the practice part, to the meditation. So how we will do it? So first, when we practice meditation, the first thing to do is to do some physical asanas, very easy physical asanas, just so that our body feels more stable on the mat. As we said yesterday, there are different ways to sit in meditation. One can just sit down on a cushion. One can sit down on a chair. That's perfectly fine. Meditation doesn't need to be on a cushion necessarily. There's also the Japanese way of sitting, where one sits with the like the knees on the ground, and then well, it's hard to explain, but like something like that, where one puts the legs on the side. Yeah, it's a bit dark here, so something like that. One will put like a yoga block underneath the hips, and then one can sit like that. And then there's like special chairs, like Japanese chairs for meditation, that are specially made for that, and some people really enjoy them. And it makes it easier for people to meditate or to sit down. So that's a good way of doing. So first things we do is just a little bit of stretch, very, very, very light stretch. I'm not going to do like just 1 or 2 minutes. Just sit straight. Then do what is called the Sufi rolls. So it's like going from one side to the other and rolling the back. Do it a couple of times from one side, then the other side. Then come back to center. Then raise one hand and just bend to one side. Then the other side, very, very light. Then raise both hands to the top. Then turn to one side with one hand on the knee and the other hand on the ground, and just look a little bit to the behind, like twist a little bit. Then inhale, straighten your back, and exhale, turn a bit more without straining. Then same thing for the other side. Inhale, straighten the back. Exhale, turn a bit more. And then come back to center. And then very, very slowly move your hands forwards, very, very slowly. Just to stretch a little bit the joints, the hip joints. And come back. Put your other leg in front. And very, very, very slowly go forward. And come back. Okay. So this is like a sequence that usually we do in meditation. So we first do the physical asanas, then we do some relaxation, then we do some pranayama, then we can do some self-dialogue, and then a meditation from a concentration point of view. So let's do now the relaxation. So for the relaxation, what we will do now for like a couple of days, we do the 31 points of relaxation. That comes from the Himalayan tradition. It's a very good practice. Basically, it is a body scan on specific points, spaces on the body. So if you already know the 31 points, you can already do it. Otherwise, I will guide it. So bring all your awareness to the space between the eyebrows. Really focus there and try to avoid going anywhere else. Then bring your awareness to the pit of the throat. To the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the space between the chest, the right chest, the space between the chest, left chest, and back to the space between the chest. So this is called the 31 points of relaxation, Shavyatra. So Shavyatra is like, Shavasana means corpse pose, and Shavyatra means like corpse journey. So one can do it either sitting or lying down. Lying down is very nice also, but if we want to meditate afterwards, maybe it's best to do it sitting up, but it's your choice. And relaxation, there are many types of relaxation, but this is quite a good one because it's like a mix of, it's like pranayama relaxation, because when we focus on a point, we use concentration, so it's really like a pranayama. So it's a mixture of pranayama and relaxation. It's both of them, basically. And then let's move to pranayama. So let's do like a very simple pranayama technique first. Well, pranayama is, it's not, pranayama is really related to the mind, concentration also, but related also to the breath usually. A lot of it is with the breath, but we will not do like Kapalbhati and Bhastrika and those kind of practices. But we will do just breath awareness, very natural breath awareness. So when we breathe, we should at least breathe diaphragmatically. That's a very important part of pranayama. So that means we should relax our entire body. So relaxation is very important. And then we just let the diaphragm just go up and down, and then the belly just go expand and retract. We don't like breathe from the chest or from the shoulders. I mean, when we say breathing from the chest or shoulder, that just means that we basically move the muscles, like we expand the muscles at the top instead of the muscles at the belly. So we don't relax the belly muscles enough. And then that means that our breath is very shallow if we breathe from the shoulder. From shoulders, if we are tense, usually the shoulders are tense, and then the shoulders will be up. And this will create a smaller space for breathing. And you can try it out. If you can try to breathe with the shoulders up, you will see that it's quite hard. It's like I cannot breathe quite a lot. If I'm very relaxed, I can breathe much more freely. So that's the idea. So we want to really relax our body so that the belly just can expand naturally. And that's why it's also a good idea not to have belts that are very tight, but to be a little bit loose. Yes, so about pranayama, also about breathing, because breathing is quite a big part of some practices. Breathing is of course, it's important, but there is a strong relation between breathing and the mind. It's almost a one-to-one relation. So when the breath is calm, the mind will be calm. When the mind is agitated, the breath will also be agitated. That means that we can also control the mind by controlling the breath. Like if we slow down the breath, then we can slow down the mind. Of course, it depends. Some don't do that, but in yoga, it's quite often done in that way. There are many different ways of doing. So an idea is just to slow down the breath enough so that the mind is calm, and also the exhalation should be greater than or equal to the inhalation time. So for example, if we inhale for 2 seconds, the exhalation should be 2 or more. So a very common breathing practice is to breathe in X seconds and breathe out 2x seconds. So it's like inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it depends on everybody's tolerance, oxygen tolerance, and how they can do it. But that is extremely relaxing. So if you have some stressful exams, or in a job, maybe some project, then you can take 5 minutes of just doing this kind of breathing. It will help a lot. Just to calm down, and then the mind will be a bit clearer. So yes, another thing also that is important. So there are some things in this practice that we should actually do in order to make it better. One is to avoid having big gaps when we breathe in and breathe out. So like breathe in and out should be really very smooth and very continuous. So no pauses at the top, no pauses at the bottom. At least when we do it in a controlled way. When we don't do it in a controlled way, that's different. But in a controlled way, we try to do it very gently, but without any pauses. Like inhale, not abruptly, not like a triangle, but more like a circle, one at the top, like inhale and exhale, and so on. Another thing that is important is to avoid jerks. Like breath jerks. It's like inhaling, then stopping, and then inhaling, and so on, or exhaling. So we try to make it as smoothly as possible. And then we try to slow it down a little bit. Not too much, not strain away breathing, but just something that is very smooth. So we will try to slow down a bit the breath over the coming practices, over the coming 40 days. But for now, we will just do like simple simple breathing of just breathing 2 seconds and breathing out 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do it for like 5-6 minutes. And I will not guide it this time. You just do it as you feel. Don't try to go overboard. Don't do it like inhale for much longer than 2 and then exhale. No, let's do it 2, 4. So inhale 2, exhale 4. That is normally good for most people. If even that is too much, maybe you can do 1, 2. Inhale and 2, exhale. But normally 2, 4 should be fine for most people and safe. So let's do that. And one thing is when I will start like a practice or like something, then I will do like a little bit of music. And then at the end, I will do it again, the same thing, so that we can all continue. So yes, so let's do that for 5-6 minutes, and I will tell you when it's over. So now we're going to move to a practice that is often done, and that's quite important, called Nadi Shodhanam or Anuloma Viloma. It's also called alternating nostril breathing. There are different ways of doing it. So we are going to see one way. During the course of those 40 days, we will try different things, but for now we will do that one. So how we do it is we take our hands, we bend the index and the middle finger. Then we have the thumb and the ring finger, and we're going to block either the left or the right. And we're going to exhale and inhale from different nostrils depending on the pattern. So the idea of it is quite deep. We're not going to go deep, now to already go into the theory, but it's related to how the left side, right side, Sushumna, Nadi Pingala, so the energy channels in the back are, when they are activated, depending on the nostrils that are activated, and also, so this is very balancing for the left and the right side of our energetic system. So let's do it. So that is like we're going to do. So there are basically three like types in the Himalayan tradition for the for this. We're going to do the first one now, and we're going to do it 3 times. So we're going to do it 1 time starting from one side of the nostrils, a complete cycle, and then we're going to start from the other nostrils, and then again from the first. You will understand it when we do it together. I will say it out loud so it's clear. So we're going to start exhaling from the left side. We're going to block the right side. We're going to start like that. And we always start exhaling and then we end inhaling. So first, just inhale deeply, exhale, then inhale, we're going to start. So inhale, block the right side and exhale from left. Then with the ring finger, block the left and inhale from right. Then switch and exhale from left. Switch, inhale from right. Switch, exhale from left. Switch, inhale from right. Then exhale from right. Switch, inhale from left. Switch, exhale. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. And switch, inhale. That's a complete cycle. So now we're going to do the same, but from the other side. So I'm going to block the left side and exhale from right. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. And switch, inhale. Now exhale from left. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. And switch, inhale. Now we've done 2 cycles again on the left. So we're going to block the right and exhale from left. Inhale from right. Exhale from left. Inhale from right. Exhale from left. Inhale from right. And exhale from right. Inhale from left. Exhale from right. Inhale from left. Exhale from right. And inhale from left. And let go. So what we did here are 3 cycles. So the pattern is, so what we said, we exhale from left. First cycle is exhale from left, inhale from right, exhale left, inhale right, exhale left, inhale right. And then exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left. That is 1 cycle. So if you calculate it, in total it's 12 inhalation, exhalation, both. So it's 6 inhalation, 6 exhalation. And it comes up to always 12. Again, it's always starting with the exhale and ending with the inhale. That's easier to remember then. So that is that for the Nadi Shodhanam for today at least. So now we're going to move to self-dialogue. So self-dialogue, we are going to do, first we're going to do one that's like we're going to do always, so that is gratitude. And then afterwards we're going to do a self-dialogue of a different type. But we're going to always start with a gratitude dialogue. Why gratitude? Because gratitude is the mother of all virtues. At least in Buddhism, that's how it is viewed. And it's probably correct, because when we are grateful, we show gratitude to people, then they feel good. And yes, and so we show gratitude in our mind to everyone, everything around us. So to our families, friends, colleagues, co-workers, everyone around us, the animals, our pets, dogs, cats, to the country, also to the continent, to the world, everyone in this world. And also then we give thanks to all our material possession. So like our bed, it's amazing to have a bed, like a warm bed. Some people don't have it, so we are quite lucky to have it. And also clothes. So some people don't have many. So it's good to have warm clothes. We can be grateful for that, for all the people who made those clothes all over the world. Just for us to have some warm, to warm our bodies. So it's quite amazing thing that we have. We don't really think about it often, but it's wonderful. All the food that we have is amazing. So many farmers work tirelessly every day to provide us with fruits, vegetables, grains. And yeah, of course, I do mean plant-based food. I'm not sure we can give thanks to meat. I'm sorry. No. But everything else we can. So all the plant-based, when we eat the fruit, we can savor it. Really, it's quite amazing. Fruits are incredible. And yes, so on the food, we can be grateful for have teeth. For those of us who have teeth, I have a few less than I had before. that we have our bodies, that we have the limbs, that we can walk or grab things. Some people cannot move or not easily, so it's harder for them. So we can be grateful for so many things in life. And yeah, for also our emotions, we can be grateful for our mind to be able to think clearly, to make plans, to be free, to live in a free country. Um, um, and yes, for the planets, for the sun. So okay, I'm just babbling out, but you get it. So just being grateful for whatever you feel in your heart that should one should be grateful for. So let's do that. That's a wonderful practice. You can do it for a very long time. You can do it for even half an hour maybe, but we'll not do it for half an hour. Don't worry. So it's just going to be, but still it's going to be maybe 10 minutes, about 10 minutes. So let's do that. So now we move to another self-dialogue practice that is called metta meditation. It's very well known in Buddhism, where it is used quite a lot by the practitioners. The idea is to wish well to everybody. Like everybody, meaning really everybody. So all living beings. So we wish well first, like to those that are close to us, maybe our family members, pets, dogs, cats. Then we wish well for those that are neutral to us, maybe the cashier at the supermarket that we see from time to time, or our colleagues that we don't really talk, but we don't have any emotional connection. And finally, to those who are a bit harder for us. Not necessarily enemies, could be enemies, but could be just people who annoy us, maybe. Maybe colleagues we are not very fond of. I don't know if you have any such persons in your entourage. Maybe I mean, we don't have like we have trouble speaking to them or being with them, and then still we wish them well. I mean, really sincerely. It's not just saying I wish you well, but really meaning it. That we really wish that person or persons to be happy, to be peaceful, to be blissful, to be joyful, not to have pain, and to be free. And not only to humans, but this should extend also to all the animals. So we wish well to all the animals in all the world. Not only those that are close to us, like the dogs and cats, but those who suffer terribly around the world. So we wish them well also. We wish them to be free, to be happy, not to know pain, and to be free from all issues. Because animals are also people. So not only humans who are people. So it's good to treat all beings as people. So then we don't have this distinction between animals and humans, because we are an animal. But we like to think of ourselves as better and in every way, but that's not always the case. So we have a responsibility to all living beings to protect them. Like we are protectors. We are supposed to be kings and queens to the animals, to protect the animal kingdom. But for the moment, that's not exactly the case. So at least from our point of view, we need to pray for them, to be happy in all ways. So let's do that for like 4 or 5 minutes. So again, we pray to those that are close to us. Can be specific persons or can be like in a general way. Those that are like neutral to us and those that are more problematic to us. And then we also pray to all the living beings, not only the humans. So let's do that for 5 minutes. So now we move to the actual self-dialogue part, and that is very interesting part. Is the idea is basically in meditation what we want is to be able to concentrate on whatever the object of concentration we chose to be it a mantra or breath or some divine light or music. But in order to do that, we need to have the mind needs to be satisfied in some sense. So, because the mind will trouble us. I mean, we all know that when we try to silence the mind, then the mind doesn't enjoy being silenced. The mind is very rebellious. Not bad in any way. Just the mind is just doing the mind stuff. So the mind likes to think and to plan and to go to the past, to the future. And in meditation, we try to concentrate on one object and let go of all the others. Not that thoughts do not come; thoughts are not enemies, but we do not follow them. But in order to minimize the amount of thoughts, before meditation, it's a good idea to do contemplation or self-dialogue. Is to kind of let the steam out of the mind. When we have a pressure cooker, before opening it, we need to remove the steam, and only then we can open the lid. So similarly, the self-dialogue part before meditation is a very good idea. Is to let the steam out a bit to the mind, to let the mind think in a positive way, so that in meditation the mind will leave us a little bit at least. Maybe not completely, but the mind will be more satisfied. We can tell the mind, please, now I listen to you. Now please let me meditate in peace, and then I will come back to you at the end of it. Something like that. So how do we do self-dialogue? Basically, it's talking to ourselves in a positive, constructive way, not in a negative way, of course. Many of us talk to ourselves in a very negative way. Sometimes we insult ourselves or the mind, telling it to not talk but the mind is the mind, so we cannot just let it be. But what we can do is talk with the mind in a positive way. One way of doing is prayer. So prayer is a kind of self-dialogue where we talk something positive. We wish usually positive things to others or to the world, or if we believe in God, so to God or to the Lord. And so it's a kind of positive thing. Of course, prayer can also be negative if we wish the destruction of we wish harm to other people or to animals or to anything. Then prayer can be a negative thing. So prayer can both be positive and negative. Usually it's positive, but we should be careful about what we pray for. So we always should pray for positive things, of course. Doesn't matter for whom, enemies, friends, neutral. Always positive. Wish all the world to be peaceful. That's the only way to stop wars and suffering. So that's one way, prayer. And then another way is what is called contemplation. Contemplation is when we think about higher truths, kind of like the usual one, who am I, is a kind of truth. But in yoga, there are some mahavakyas, so it's like utterances which are higher truths, like, and then one thinks about them during meditations, like contemplation on some truths that comes from the Vedas, or it doesn't matter where they come from, and they are like believed to be true, and then we need to focus on their meanings and what they could mean, etc. Even though there could be no really, it's quite impossible to really understand them until we experience that state of consciousness or mind. But we do just to think in a positive way. And also, who am I? So is a wonderful thing to think. We already discussed it a little bit yesterday, but again, who am I is one of the main questions that we ask ourselves in spirituality. One could say that the entire spiritual science or aspects of it is just to answer that single question, who am I? And to answer it to try to find out who are we? It's a wonderful question. Who am I? Who are you? Do we really think about it often? Maybe, probably not enough. Because we often think that we are this body, but we are not really this body. This body is just a temporary costume that we wear. It's a wonderful costume that we need to take good care of as much as possible. So we need to be healthy and everything. But it is a costume for our soul. So it's a very rare gift to have a human body, extremely rare gift. So we should not neglect it. But still, this is not who we are. So we should try to find out who we are in a good way is through meditation, basically. Meditation is something that permits us to find out who we are, at least to get closer to the truth. And a good question to ask is, who am I not, also? So who am I and who am I not? Who am I is very hard to think about or to answer, but who am I not is much easier if one really understands it. So, like, who am I? I am not like I am not a man, and I am not a woman. Okay, of course. I mean, I am a man in this costume that I wear now, but in the truth, I'm not a man and I'm not a woman. I am a soul. And this soul just took this costume temporarily, and then it will shed it in sometimes. So who am I not? So I'm not a body. I'm not woman. I'm not a man. I'm not my profession. I'm not IT. I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm not a meditation teacher. This is just artificial things that we add to ourselves, concepts, like a kind of egos, not a negative one. I mean, we need it. I mean, they are very useful in this world. For example, of course, being a man or a woman is useful concept, evidently. But it is just an illusion. And sometimes we forget that those are just illusions. And we are caught up in different ideas. But if we really know ourselves, we are like, we are not a man, we are not a woman, we are divine souls. We are light. We are beautiful, unbelievable light awareness itself. We are amazing, divine pieces of music, divine music. It's just, we are an unbelievably entity, energy. We cannot define it really. So yeah, so focusing on who am I not. So again, that's a valid self-dialogue contemplation. Then the other one is self-counseling. Self-counseling is more to do with ourselves, like talking with ourselves about maybe issues that we have and that we would like to resolve or think about. Like and one very known question is like, what do I want? What do I want in life? It's an extremely important question to try to find out. Like why was I, in a way, why was I born? Well, what was the purpose? What is my purpose in life? What is my heart really wants to do? It's a very wonderful question. Um, Usually we don't really think about it. But if we really think about it deeply, it can be a beautiful question to ask, to try to find out. Maybe we don't really know what we want for now, but maybe we will, if we think about it long enough, we will try to somehow find out what we really want. And usually it could be some great aspiration or inspiration. Make the world more a kinder place, more compassionate place, to stop wars, to stop sufferings, to make this world vegan. Or it could be just a very simple thing like, what do I want? I want a cookie. Yes, that's also a kind of want, and that's okay too. There's no issue with having cookies. I love cookies, so, and I want a cookie, but I don't have any. So that's one thing. The next one can be like friendliness with mind, is to be a friend with the mind. Just talking with the mind as if the mind is our best friend. Because when we think about it, well, the mind is the only kind of entity that is always with us. It never leaves us. So it's like it could be our best friend. The mind could be our best friend or our best enemy or worst enemy. So it's our choice basically. Either we want to make our mind our best friend or our worst enemy, or just a friend. All we can do to make our mind our friend is just to talk to our friend in a friendly way to our mind. Just be very, very friendly and talk with him or her. Just because the mind is kind of individual entity. Like we have the soul and then we have the mind. It's kind of it's like we are talking to ourselves, but we are talking to our higher self, so the Buddhi in us. And that's a wonderful thing. So yeah, so let's do that. So let's do like a self-dialogue practice now. We do it for about 10 minutes. And you decide what you wish to talk about. But please always do it as positive as possible. Avoid all negative talks. Just be very friendly. You can laugh with the mind. Have fun. So let's do that for about 10 minutes. Okay, so now we will move to the actual meditation. But let's have like a 5 minutes break. So we'll meet again in 5 minutes. Oh, 2 more minutes. Okay, so let's move to the meditation part of the practice. So what we will do is first Kaya Steriam. Again, Kaya means body, Steriam means stability or stable. But in meditation, we really want the body to be as stable and not moving as possible. For many reasons, but one of them is that it's hard to control the mind. So at least what we can do is control the body, and then from controlling the body, we can try to access the mind in some sense, so to bring peace to the mind. When we are very still, then the mind will be also still. So that's why we try to be as still as possible, and that is the practice of Kaya Steriam. So I will guide it. It will be like imagining that we are a tree and we have roots from our legs, and then the body, the back is like the trunk, and then the hands are like branches. And then we imagine that we are really very, very stable, and we try to be as stable as possible. We try not to move in meditation, if possible, unless we have pain. The only reason to move is if we have pain, then we can move, of course. But if we have just discomfort, then we try to stay as we are and try to maybe be aware of that discomfort and what exactly is discomfort. But pain is a bit different. If it's really pain, then we should move, of course. Then it means pain means something is wrong. But if we have a itch, for example, somewhere, then we can just try to let it go. Usually the itch will just jump to another place, which is quite interesting. And that's kind of a big thing, like to really try to be as stable and still as possible in meditation. Of course, there are other types of meditation, like walking meditation and things like that, but we are not discussing this here. This is just sitting meditation in a traditional way. And then what we're going to do is just a little bit of breathing in and out, like breathing in to and fro once we are stable. And once that is done, once we are stable in mind and body, then we just we let go of the control. So just we let the breath be normal without us controlling it at all. But we are aware of it. We become aware of it. We just watch it from a distance. And we try to watch something related to the breath. And a very common thing to watch is the air coming out and in of the nostrils. So when we breathe in and out, we can feel a little bit hot or cold, or some sensation in the nostrils, and then we can focus our mind on it during meditation, so that it helps to keep the mind still. If the mind cannot be still, then a good thing to do is just to count. So like when we inhale, we count 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we again 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we count until 5 each inhalation and exhalation, and then when we get to 5, we return to 1. That is very good to stabilize the mind, to help us to focus again. And then once we are stable again, we can let go of the counting. So the counting is just a temporary thing to help the mind. We can use other things of counting, like in and out, like thinking like when we inhale it's in, when we exhale it's out. But again, no control. That is very important. Except when we do the 2-4, so inhale 2 and then exhale 4 seconds, that is controlled, because we inhale for 2 then we exhale for 4, more or less. But then when we let go of the control, then it's different. Then it's really without control, just watching, being aware, being like an awareness that watches the body from out of the body in some sense. Because what we try to do is find who is aware of this awareness. And so just watching, so it's like awareness watching the breath. And then, of course, thoughts will come inevitably. When they come, just let go. And if we follow them a little bit, then just bring the mind very, very gently back to the breath. Just a very gentle bringing back, no force. And then the mind will wander again to the past or the future, and then bring it back again to the now. It will move again, past, future, then bring it back again. It will create thoughts, chain of thoughts, bring it back again. So the whole idea of this meditation is to bring the mind back to the object of concentration. In this case, it's the sensations of the breath when we inhale, exhale. Of course, other types of object of concentrations exist. This we'll talk about in the future. But for now, this is what we're going to do. So let's try that. I hope that is clear. If you have any question, you can always send me a mail. I put my mail in the about of the channel, so you can send me a mail then. Otherwise, let's try it out. We will do it for about 25 minutes so it's fairly long. If you're not used to it, you can stop before it. But I will guide it first for the Kayashtariam, then for the 2-4 seconds, and then you will watch the breath. So let's start. Find a comfortable and sitting position that you can stay for a long time. So find a comfortable position and stable that you can feel good in, no pain anywhere. You can fidget a little bit in the beginning, just try to find a stable position. You can also sit on a chair. And once you find that sweet spot where it's really very comfortable, then just let go and relax your entire body. Try to be still. Imagine you are a tree growing roots into the ground, very, very deep. And your body is like a trunk with branches out of the hands. Now bring your attention to your right leg. To your lower leg, right lower leg, right upper leg, right hips, left hip, left upper leg, left lower leg, both legs together. Just bring your awareness, very gentle, and relax. Relax your legs, they are completely relaxed. Relax your right arm, lower arm, upper arm, and your right shoulder. Relax your left shoulder, left upper arm, lower arm, and both arms together. Relax. Relax your shoulders, shoulder blades, your back. Relax your torso, navel, and abdomen. Relax your neck, throat, back of the head, top of the head, forehead. Relax your eyebrows, eyes, nose, nostrils. Relax your ears, your mouth, tongue, and jaw. Relax your entire face. Relax your head, torso. Again, the shoulders and shoulder blade. Relax your hands and your fingers and your toes. Relax your entire body. Your entire body is completely relaxed. Now start breathing in 2 seconds and breathing out 4 seconds. You don't need to count, just breathe in and out naturally. Once you have counted a couple of times, just you know how it's going to be, so use that. Now let go of all control of the breath. Just be aware of it, watch it, but don't control it anymore. Just watch the sensations of the breath at the entrance of the nostrils. Every time your mind wanders, very gently, mindfully bring him back to the breath. So at the end of all meditation, a good idea is to rub the hands, create some heat, then put the palms of the hands on the eyes, so that one feel warmth on the eyes. And then when you open the eyes, just to look in the darkness of the palms, and only then go outside. It's like a way to ease the going from the inside to the outside. Usually that's how we end a meditation. So some things I put like in the notes, like I will put every day like a challenge plus a video that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's always linked to kindness and compassion, and mostly to the vegan lifestyle, because I'm very passionate about it. I think that's clear. So yesterday, so for those who were not here yesterday, so yesterday it was the challenge was to eat mindfully at least once a day. So this actually can be done for the entire time of this 40 days challenge. So just to eat mindfully once a day. It's a wonderful practice that I think not many people are doing. Because we are so used to, when we eat, to watch TV, read the news, watch our smartphones, surf, and then we eat at the same time. And then it can be an issue, because then we don't eat mindfully. Mindfully means to eat like really we focus on the food. We focus on the taste of the food, of the smell of the food, of even the touch of the food. But when we do something in addition to that, then we cannot really focus on the food. And then we don't really even taste the food, because we focus so much on whatever we are looking. Like if we watch a movie and then we eat like a real lunch or dinner, then watch something on the phone or anything, then our attention is focused on whatever we are focusing upon. So a challenge would be to try at least once a day to eat very, very mindfully. So just remove all your distractions. Maybe put your phone on airplane mode when you eat one time. And then, and don't watch TV, don't read anything, don't watch the phone, of course. And really eat and really feel the food that you eat and the smell of the food. And you can even touch like the food if you use with the hands. And that would be a very, very, maybe even a strange experience, because we are not used to it, to really experience the food. So it's wonderful to eat. And so that was the challenge of yesterday. And yesterday I proposed the video of a wonderful lady called Rebecca Moore. She's quite amazing, and founded the Institute of Animal Happiness. What better name for a non-profit? And yes, so this video is an interview of her by another one of a wonderful site called Vegan Linked. It's a channel of a person who is doing incredible interviews with high qualities. It's really like professional interviews. It's quite amazing. And then she gives the interview, and it's one of the best interview I've ever seen in my life. Very touching and very real. And yeah, she discusses her past, how she became a vegetarian or vegan, and then and yeah, it's a wonderful watch. And for today, what I proposed as a challenge is to be very mindful of what one speaks. So be like a speaking mindfulness to really every time that we speak to think before we speak. So I know many times we hear about it that we should think before we speak, but maybe we have hard time to do it because we're not used to it. And it's very good to if we are in a like anger situation, like we feel angry against somebody or we are in a dispute with somebody, then before speaking harsh words, we can reflect on the situation and on what we are going to say. So to say things mindfully, and then it will be much. The other person will react similarly, and it will be a wonderful experience to see how a dispute can turn into a very peaceful resolve through just mindfulness. So that is the challenge for today. And the video that I propose for today is by another wonderful woman called Lisa McDonald. She's also the founder of a sanctuary called Sweet Bear Rescue Farm. Unfortunately, I believe there was like a natural disaster, typhoon or hurricane, and then it got destroyed, I believe. But still, she continues, and yeah, she's really an amazing person as well, doing so much good for the animals, and her sanctuary. It's quite amazing how she cares for the animals. And there's an interview where she presents her residents, and it's quite funny. Also, in the beginning, we see like a turkey, and the chickens they run after him because of the tomato. It's quite a fun video to watch. And yeah, she also explained more deeply why she does it, how she does it. And yeah, so that is what I propose. And also, what she works with, she rescues like turkeys also. And it was just before Thanksgiving. So, Thanksgiving, I don't know if it's world, I don't know if it's in the entire world or only in the United States where one give thanks to things like gratitude, but unfortunately, turkeys are the central piece, I believe, of the table, which doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. And yeah, so she tries to educate people about turkeys, how wonderful they are, how beautiful and wonderful they are. They are not food. Also, no animal is food, but yeah. So, and then this video may open our eyes to this, and maybe our next Thanksgiving is going to be a vegan turkey. And yeah, so that was the challenges for yesterday, today, and the videos. Of course, you don't really have to watch any that I propose, but just it's like it's a challenge in itself just to watch it and to these beautiful videos. I will not give hard to watch videos. And also, so maybe many of you know that this month is Veganuary. Veganuary is a wonderful movement that comes from the UK. That presents for 1 month. One can do like a 30 days challenge to be vegan for 30 days, 41 days. So, and they give like support to people, and they give recipes and a lot of explanations. I believe they give like daily emails to help with that. And yeah, so many people, I think many millions of people tried it already. I don't remember how many, I think 25 millions, something like that. So it's really a gigantic movement that goes over all over the globe. Um, and even in my country, they have like in like a kind of restaurant chains, they have like veganuary, like I mean they have vegans food only for only for January, but still it's very nice. So and I would encourage everyone to try it out, see how it goes. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You stop. I mean, just it's a nice thing to try, and it's for free. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so tomorrow I will give another presentation about another aspect of the vegan lifestyle, and then another video that I would propose, and then another challenge for you, and some more meditation and practice. So I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you have any question, as I said, you can send me a mail. And I hope you'll have a wonderful day and wish you a wonderful, happy new year. That your year will be very peaceful and joyful and happy. And that all will go well for you and your loved ones. Take care of your own heart, your own body also. The body is precious. Take good care of it. And yeah, thank you and see you soon. Bye bye.